The story begins deep within a silent forest, where the majestic cougar Karak walks alongside his pack. However, Karak hides a secret. He has an obsessive fascination with human beings. Driven by that curiosity, he decides to separate from his family to observe them more closely, but fate twists reality. Suddenly, a young boy named Jay wakes up startled from an intense nightmare in his bed. At that moment, the astonishing truth is revealed. Jay and the cougar Karak are the same being, a boy trapped between two worlds with the mystical ability to transform into a wild beast. In the warmth of his adoptive home, Jay tries to live a normal life with his parents and sister. However, an alarming breaking news report on television shatters the peace. Strange wild animals have been attacking urban areas without explanation. Concerned by her son's withdrawn behavior, his mother makes the difficult decision to enroll him in a new school. During the nighttime drive, the family stops to rest in a deserted area. Before dawn, Jay watches in horror as a pack of wolves runs toward a nearby factory, causing a massive power outage instantly. The young boy wakes up certain that those creatures are hiding something dangerous. At sunrise, they arrive at the imposing gates of a mysterious school isolated from the outside world, run by the strict and elegant Lisa. After an emotional farewell with his family, the atmosphere changes completely. Lisa stares directly at Jay and confesses that she knows his secret. To his amazement, she explains that every student at the institution shares the same mystical nature and is secretly trained to control their instincts. Hesitantly, the boy admits that his inner animal is a cougar. The calm doesn't last long when an emergency alarm suddenly goes off. The security cameras show that Jay's mother and sister have wandered off the road and are heading straight toward a ranch where several students are transformed into beasts. Using incredible quick thinking, the principal intercepts the women and casually lies, claiming the animals are a special attraction of the school, saving the secret by a hair. Later, Jay explores the campus and meets Lou, a kind-hearted girl, but also Jeffrey, a troublesome student who transforms into a fierce wolf. Irritated by the newcomer's feline scent, Jeffrey threatens him with his claws, but the math teacher, James, steps in and separates them. Shortly afterward, Lisa introduces Jay to Andrew, an influential billionaire and benefactor who pays all the expenses for his education. During a moment of deep connection, Jay confesses that he was raised by cougars in the wild as a child, but eventually fled to the cities because his wild father deeply despised the human race, an ideology he never shared. Impressed by his courage, Andrew promises to support him. Upon arriving at his dormitory, Jay discovers that he can hear abstract whispers thanks to the telepathy of his species, and he meets Holly, an energetic classmate who transforms into a squirrel. The next day, during a field class in the forest, they discover that Lou can transform into a massive moose. The strict teacher Elwood orders Jay to demonstrate his abilities atop a large rock, but his fear of rejection causes a powerful emotional block. After being humiliated by mockery and struck by a thrown stone, Jay attempts to leave the school in frustration. Fortunately, Principal Lisa intercepts him and, with endless patience, helps him reconnect with his deepest memories and his true name, Karag. Under this encouragement, his eyes change, his claws extend, and he finally transforms into the majestic cougar Karak, leaving everyone speechless as the entire school releases their inner animals and cheers his true name as a sign of complete acceptance. As life at the academy continues, Brandon, a shy boy who transforms into a bison, becomes his roommate. Jay's sense of justice is ignited when he defends a helpless student from Jeffrey and his violent wolf pack. This rivalry explodes during Professor Bill's combat class, where a student named Berta transforms into a gigantic bear and frightens Brandon. Jay steps in to take his place, but his mental block returns. At that moment, Andrew appears and throws him a package carrying the scent of the damp earth from the mountains he misses so much, triggering an instant transformation. the cougar Karak fights with uncontrollable ferocity and nearly defeats the bear. Consumed by jealousy, Jeffrey challenges him to a final duel in the forest at midnight. Upon reaching the clearing, Jay discovers it is an ambush by the entire wolf pack. Karak fights bravely, but is overwhelmed. Desperate, Holly forces Brandon to act. Breaking through his fears, Brandon transforms into a colossal bison and charges the wolves, saving Jay from certain death. The bond between Jay and Andrew grows stronger when the billionaire takes him outside the school grounds to train and offers to become his mentor, also confessing that he lost his beloved daughter years ago. During training, Jay hunts a deer, but this leads to painful consequences. At dinner, when Lou learns about it, she suffers an emotional breakdown and runs away crying because her mother was killed by a cougar in the past. The story takes a political turn when Jay and Lou secretly observe a school council meeting that fears the rise of extremist factions. That same night, Jay follows the wolves and discovers them sabotaging high-voltage power lines in the city. Just as he is cornered, Andrew emerges from the shadows and stops the fight. It is then that the mentor reveals his true criminal nature. He justifies his terrorist attacks by claiming that human industries destroyed the forests and caused the death of his family. His master plan is to rally young shapeshifters to reclaim the land, and he demands that Jay decide which side he is on before the weekend ends. The following day, a frightened Brandon loses control on the highway and crashes into a vehicle. Upon investigating, Jay is horrified to discover that the passengers are his own adoptive parents and sister, who were coming to surprise him. After hiding the school's mystical nature and introducing them to Lisa, his mother invites him to spend the weekend camping together. Moments later, Andrew calls the boy to warn him that the major attack against the industries will take place that very night. When Jay refuses, in order to protect his human family, Andrew delivers a devastating ultimatum. He must choose between loyalty to his animal bloodline and love for humans. Desperate, Jay flees into the forest in cougar form, where human hunters pursue him relentlessly. On the verge of collapse, he reverts to his human form to confuse the hunting dogs and eventually faints, only to be rescued by Andrew. Using perfect psychological manipulation, Andrew lies to him, claiming that those same hunters exterminated his real cougar family years ago. Broken by grief and resentment, Jay emotionally gives in and agrees to join the eco-terrorist plot under the firm promise that no human lives will be taken. The climax unfolds at a lumber mill perched on a steep hillside. The plan is to release thousands of tons of giant logs and bury the facility beneath them. However, just before cutting the restraints, Jay looks down into the valley with his enhanced cougar vision and his heart freezes. Below, directly in the path of the wooden avalanche, his beloved adoptive family has set up their campsite. Jay begs them to abort the mission, but Andrew refuses with contempt and orders the logs released. At that moment, Holly, Brandon, and their friends from the academy emerge from the brush to stop the sabotage. Andrew transforms into a colossal black cougar and slams into Karak, beginning a brutal battle of claws and fangs atop the hill. Tragically, the supports collapse and the massive logs thunder down the slope. At the campsite, the parents manage to get to safety, but Jay's little sister is facing the opposite direction, completely unaware of the danger because she is wearing headphones at full volume. In a suicidal descent, Karak breaks free from Andrew, dodges the rolling timber, and a split second before the devastating impact, slams into the girl and shields her with his own body. After the avalanche passes, the cougar reverts into an exhausted Jay, who breaks down in tears as he embraces his family, finally understanding that love transcends any species. Minutes later, a rescue helicopter arrives to transport the injured. Jay furiously confronts Andrew for trying to kill his loved ones, but the manipulative leader reveals one final card to maintain his influence. He claims to have discovered the exact location of Jay's biological cougar family. At that very moment, the authorities and Principal Lisa arrive at the scene. Displaying limitless cunning and hypocrisy, Andrew blames the attack on one of his lieutenants and falsely presents Jay and his friends as heroes who risked their lives to stop the ecological disaster. With the secret preserved and a whirlwind of emotions in the air, Jay and his loyal friends return triumphantly to the academy gates, where the entire school welcomes them with applause, cheers, and deep respect. And with that emotional reunion, the movie comes to an end. In the end, Karag's story leaves us with a powerful lesson. Our true identity is not defined by our bloodline or our wild nature, but by the choices we make and the people we choose to protect. Despite being trapped between two worlds, Karag shows us that family love and empathy can overcome any barrier, reminding us that courage is not measured by the strength of our claws, but by the nobility of our hearts. If you enjoyed this action-packed story, full of mystery and transformation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Karag's fate, and we'll see you in the next video.